back, and now we're here to talk about the problem on the back of your warm-up. I'm going to go into less detail about graphing this. You guys should be able to graph these at this point. So I'm going to go into testing. So I test 0, 0. I end up with this. 0 is less than or equal, or sorry, greater than or equal to 36, which I found was false. So I'm focusing in on my blue line here. And I get 0 is false. So I don't want to shade with that area. I want to shade against it. I'm going to shade up here. 2, 3, 4, and 7. Alright, next line, I plug 0, 0 in. I end up with this. 0 is less than or equal to 8. That's true. 0 is less than 8. So here's my line. Here's my point. It's true. So I want to shade with it. All of this. 1, 2, 6, and 7. And finally, the purple line, plug 0 here. 0 is greater than or equal to 3. That's not true. 0 is not greater than 3. So here's my line. This is not true. So I don't want to shade that way. I want to shade this way. I want the true side. So that is 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so what they have in common, you guessed it, my triangle here. So my shaded region is the triangle, which means I have 3 corner points. 1, 2, 3. We'll start with this one. This is 3, 4. Okay, then we'll go to this one. 6, oops. 6, 2. And then the last one, 3, 5. And here's this new concept. Now I'm going to give you this thing called the objective function. And it's different here. It can be anything. But basically what I'm going to do is take my corner points and plug them in for x and y. So the first number is the x, the second number is the y. I'm going to do each of these separately. So for the first point, I'm going to do 7 times 3 plus 2 times 4. 21 plus 8. So I end up with a 29. For the second point there, I'm going to do 7 times 6 and 2 times 2. 42 plus 4 makes 46. And for the last point, 7 times 3, 2 times 5. That's 21 plus 10, or 31. Right? So I'm just taking the points here, plugging them in for x and y, keeping the 7 and the 2 the same, plugging the corner points into the equation. And now I analyze what I have. So the minimum, looking at these 3 numbers, the smallest of them is 29, and that happened at the coordinate 3, 4. And the maximum, the biggest of these numbers, is 46, and that happened at 6 and 2. So depending on the situation of the problem, you might want the minimum, you might want the maximum, okay? This particular problem doesn't have a situation. It's not a word problem, but eventually it will be, and we'll have to decide, do we want the minimum or maximum? And then that will be the point that we choose for our final answer. So now, last thing I want you to do is I want you to go to www.soccertips.com. You've done this before. You're going to use our class code, Diamond7376, and you're going to answer the questions based on what we did yesterday and what we did today. So do you know what a corner point is? Do you know how to use this new thing called the objective function? And what I hope that you can do is, if you get something wrong, just read the feedback. Make sure that you understand why you're getting it wrong. And once you are done that, we're going to skip this for today. This is what we would have done if I was here. But you're just going to use the rest of time to work on Math Excel. All right, Math Excel is due tomorrow night. You can do everything on Math Excel. Hopefully I see you soon. Keep my boy in your thoughts and prayers.